Okay, this is recording 728. This is going to be another long recording. Okay, so, all right. So you can find me at ChristinaStacia918.com, or you can type in listen next in quotes in Twitter, and you can find my Twitter. Okay, so, all right. So I'm starting off with, okay, so AIW, and this is going to be 70s. This is before I was born. It was when my mom was pregnant with me. Okay, so when my mom was pregnant with me, she was over at my grandma and grandpa Stacia's house. And my grandpa Stacia, he was iced. And even, oh my God. So he was iced, and everybody thinks it's just a funny family memory, but no, he was iced. So he rocked back too hard, or it looks like he rocked back too hard, but he rocked back too hard and he fell through a glass door. And I think it was a sliding glass door. He rocked, or through a window. He rocked right through a door. Okay. And he was in a rocking chair. Okay. So that goes to something else that I can't forget. I had it in my brain and I wrote it down. I wrote this part down and I'm like, I'll remember the other part that goes to this later, what it connects to later on. But now I can't remember, but I still have a whole bunch of more connection points, but there's still something missing from this that I can't remember. But anyway, so rocking chair, you have the initials RC, so remote control. And then you also have Sharon Noble in here. And then you have my mom's friend, Rick, okay? Okay, and then I end up dating a guy named John, and his brother's name is Rick, okay? I told you she stalked me, she pre-planned my whole life. Okay, so Rick's last name was Chaney, their name was Chaney, Chaney, which again, that would go to Sharon Tate. Okay, so Rick had an IROC, okay? So the IROC is supposed to be Iraq, okay? So this is, and then also the CR Scorpio child, which is you. Okay, so the IROC goes to the rocking chair, so you can see the IROC, and then it's connecting the two Ricks, and then it's the IROC, and then Iraq War. So that tells you how early on there. So then Sharon Noble is in it. So then that connects to 86 Top Gun. Okay, and then that connects to Top Dog. Okay, so Top Dog, the Top Dog references my dog. It's not my dog. Please stop trying to control my speech. Who's ever trying to impersonate my family? You're not my family. You're fucking freaks on a fucking leash. You need to leave me the fuck alone. So anyway, okay, so my dad had a Bouvier. Okay, and its name was Pepper. Okay, so CL code Pepper. Okay, so his Bouvier saw ducks in the yard in Slide Alley, had a sliding glass door, saw ducks in the yard, and he went chasing ducks, and then he crashed, went right through the sliding glass door. He might have went through the screen of the sliding glass door, but somebody told me he went through, I don't know who told me that. One of my family members told me he went through the door, maybe my grandma, like went through the screen, or if it was sliding glass door or sliding glass door, but they said he went through the sliding glass door. Okay, so anyway, so she's using Bouvier, and she took my dad's dog's life. See all recordings, see all decode. Okay, so she's using Bouvier. She's using the BO. Okay, so, and then Bo is also boyfriend, and then Dear John, and then all that. And she's probably trying to make it look like she's being stalked when she's the one doing the stalking. She wants to make it look like it's the cartel. It's everybody else. They're just after her. She's just a Viking. She's Gene the Third, and everybody they're just, So anyway, okay, so my mom was pregnant with me. Okay, so inside this, it also links to the Port Authority. okay, in the Port Authority of New York, which is a policing unit in New York. I think they work the ports. I don't know. But anyway, I got to talk to them in my brain in mental telepathy when I lived in Oklahoma City, because what Jean likes to do is she likes to run around spreading lies. And she'll tell you with her gang of, lying travelers, they're a bunch of frickin' hippies and Ted Kaczynski's, but she's beefed it up now. She's got people that are palatable and wanting to be mated with, for lack of a better term, outrunning, telling her lies for her, so she gets further with it. So she runs around and she tells lies, and then she's like, don't worry, I've got all the answers, I'm in control. So she hides that she and her Manson occult did the World Trade Center attack. She lies about the reason of it, and then she gives the whole big spiel, pity party fucking spiel, and tells a huge lie, and then she turns around and tries to blame me, which that she's lying. I mean, how many recordings are we in now, okay? We know she did the World Trade Center attack. We know what she did. She attacked me as a child and then tried to flip it around so she could use that as an excuse for her blaming doing the World Trade Center attack on. And then she just comes out like Mary Poppins on the scene in the future, and don't worry, she'll handle everything. She'll continue just abusing all your children and babies with ice. So she found a way to get away with doing the same old damn thing she's been doing in secret, and that's been raping and selling fucking kids for 60 fucking years. Her predecessors pre-planned to do the World Trade Center attack in the 30s, okay? So it's like, it's all plot and scheme, okay? So anyway, so she runs around selling this sack horse shit of fucking lies to people, preying on their sympathies, trying to get money out of them. And then she's also trying to sell them watered down versions of AI. And she's like, look, I'm giving you a ring system. And this is what my foreseers see. And this is what my tellers tell. And we never lie to you when we're fabulous. And they're like liars from fucking hell. They're like Satan's harlots. Anyway, so, they work for Jean, so that's exactly what they are. All they do is effing lie. So, because they're trying to sell this watered down freaking AI product that's all stolen. She stole it. She stole the artificial intelligence in the 60s and in the 80s. I think she stole it in the 70s. She stole it in the 60s and the 70s. Remember I told you she stole it twice over. She's probably stole more of it by now. But anyway, so she's using... Okay, so there's 3 C's in it, which is important. I didn't write down what all that is with the 3 C's, but then also note 3 C's. So in the Port Authority police crash, or in the Port Authority, so she's using the Port Authority as a part of this. So it goes to 9/11. So she had them suckered and had them come on. And then what they do is she feeds them all the horror shit. And then they're like, oh my God, this is all happening mental telepathy. And they do this all the time. Oh my God, now here's your vision of her. So then they're looking at me virtually using artificial intelligence. And I'm muted. They can't hear my thoughts, or they've got me totally... Gene Roberts people having muted where I can't talk or communicate. I'm like an animal in a cage, basically, in ice. And then they're, the fabulous and all that. And they're like, oh my God, here she is. And we'll just fix everything. Just let us handle it. Whores this way, coke this way, meth this way. Whatever else you need, we got that for you too. And those are the kind of conversations that some people get. And other people get different kind of conversations. Just let them get away with their fucking shit. So anyway, they're like viewing me, and I'm like, I know they're freaking doing this. I can see it, but I can't respond or do anything. So anyway, back when I was in Oklahoma City, they would let them go on, and then they would figure out a way to get around Jean's freaking horseshit in her con, and they would get a different link up connection of IPs to be able to connect to me and talk to me. And then they would hide the IPs from Gene Roberts and her freaking con sluts, her Charles Manson occult, and then they'd be on talk because they'd want to know what's going on. This is highly upsetting. It's upsetting to find out the truth about the World Trade Center attack, and then to be lied to, and then to be able to know that you're being freaking lied to and hustled. You want to know what's really going on. So the only way through is to pretend like you're going to rip the shit out of me, right? Because that's what Gene salivates over. Worship Gene. She's Gene the Third. She's a Viking. She's fabulous. She didn't do shit. She's the chosen angel of all ever Lord of everywhere. Rip apart Christina because that's what everybody salivates over. Go with Gene's lies. Help feed their fucking appetite for making up lies about me and rip the shit out of me, basically. So that's what people do. So they'll find a sneaky route in with the IPs, and they'll get in and they'll find a way into my brain to communicate. And that's how I meet so many people. So then I can communicate back and forth. And then Gene's got her like runners, which Ackright is one of the runners. He just works both angles. He doesn't give a shit. But I mean, he's crazy. Like, he's senseless fucking crazy. And the only thing that Ackright has that Gene doesn't have is Gene has led a normal, polished, fancy fucking life above ground, hiding her secret life for 60 years. Ackright is fucking insane and grew up with fucking insane people and doesn't know anything but Gene. He's a fucking lunatic. So, and I think he lived underground. I think he lived at Bajo and now he's above ground and she's probably got him hired to like do me in or whatever. So he doesn't really give a shit. Hell, he really ultimately is concerned with is making money to get an island, which is what he told me he wanted a long time ago. Wanting his people free because she's got a lot of his people held hostage. And getting his fucking way. And he doesn't care. He will push in any fucking direction he wants, which puts more money in his fucking pocket. He literally does not give a shit. He's a fucking lunatic. So, and he's just as bad as Gene is, only he's effing crazy. Gene is a sociopath. So, anyway, so then they find their way in through my brain, my IP, and so then I can talk, and then they're like, oh my God. And then, like I get to know people, and they try not to lose the connection, and then Ackright ends up cutting the connections or switching the IPs out, or he acts like he's the promoter. Everything has changed. This is what the NWO Illuminati wants. We're going to switch their identities. We're sorry, there's nothing we can do about it. Everything is switched around. We're just going to go with this. Same as usual. So people lose connection to me. And so because there's so many hostages, there's underground, there's hostages everywhere, like military, like you've gone through all my recordings, so you already know. So if you talk to Gene, of course, will give you another story because everything she does makes her money to feed her and her way of life that she doesn't want to be secret anymore. She wants everybody just to get used to it because that's what she's just going to freaking do. And to hell with the entire United States population. And if you give her flack, she'll just blame another group for it and silence them and keep them from saying anything. So anyway, so I got to know the Port Authority, and they were really good people. So anyway, and they came on, and they're like, rah! And then I'm like, and then they're like, oh my God. And then, I mean, like we talked for a while back and forth. So, they were leaking something to me about the, Gene Roberts wine bottle too, the I Love Me Some Drum Major wine bottle. So which they're probably saying port wine. So anyway, so something about the Port Authority, she cyber coded it, and she demon code Manson ciphered in where it's in there. So it's got the three C's in there, but I can't remember what this is now. So then also in this is panning for gold. Okay, so now this goes to, and then also SPAN, see all code on SPAN, which also goes to all, see all code on everything bridge. Okay. So, and then the long run and the long yard. So CL code and all that. Okay. So remember my mom was pregnant. So in this is, so I was an infant. Okay. Or I was not infant. I was not born yet. I was a fetus. So in this, decoding all of this out, I got it down to where I could see that the quote, resistance is futile, is in it. Infantile is also in this. So inside all of this, I decoded out resistance is futile. So I could see where she's using RE. I can see where she's using SIS, and then I could see where she's using the stand. And then she's also using FU and then the tile. So the tile goes to 911 too, the turnstiles, the all quote on turnstiles. Okay, so then I'm like, okay, so she used the resistance is futile quote. So this is going to be like that other quote I just went and said, is there more of this? So then there is more of this. So anyway, inside this also is futile and then utensil and then utility. So utensil, again, remember I told you about the pencil and the wooden spoon, and then she likes to use utensils just like paintbrushes. Okay, and then utilities and CL code AIW 70s in my grade school years at East Globe, where I decoded she was doing something with phone lines and LAN or WAN lines. Like there was all kinds of there was wiring, and it was old. It was like from the 70s and in the 60s. And I don't know what I'm decoding, but I can see it, but I can't pull it out because I don't know what I'm supposed to see. I can only see what I see, but I can see that she's messing with lines. Okay. So anyway, fertile is in it. Okay. And so you got all the fertile and the fertilizer code. Okay. And then, also FUR, fertile. And then also inside this is war wife. So she's saying that she is a war wife to, in here, General Schwarzkopf is what she's saying. And then also, and no, she's not. But this is what she's encoded. So it just shows you her stalking of him. So in this is also few, proud, pride, lion, and then pride, PRYED, and then parade, PREYED, and then also parade, and then pride, PRYED, and then spy, and then rye, and then bread. And then also more in this is I went to go look up the research on this. So more notable mentions in this. Borg, resistance is futile. I looked up the quote where it came from. It came from Doctor Who, and then it's older than that. Okay, so here's more. So it's a carry forward thing. Okay, so Borg, Doctor Who, then useless. So the useless. So you got the utensils and all that. So useless, and then that goes, oh my God, right there too also. The utensils, so where I decoded the fork, knife, and spoon, when she killed Abraham Lincoln. And if you haven't seen the decoded ciphers, you don't know what I'm talking about. But, her predecessors killed Abraham Lincoln, and it was Ulysses Grant. Okay. So anyway, so that utensils, so that goes the fork, knife, and spoon, and then useless, and then Ulysses Grant, and then also she encodes in you'll see sis. So she is, and then UL, goes to electricity. So resistance is futile was popularized by the Borg in Star Trek: The Next Generation, but its origin in sci-fi traces back to earlier shows like Doctor Who, with Cybermen saying resistance is useless. in space in 1999, resistance to the Dorcons is futile, with written variations appearing even earlier, possibly in Arthur J. Burke's 1930 story, Monsters of Moyen. Key milestones in the phrase's history. Monsters of Moyen, 1930 short story by Arthur J. Burks. And then also it looks like B. Arthur here, featuring the phrase which Maud. So B. Arthur was Maud. So there's that goes to that. Featuring the phrase in writing Doctor Who used resistance is useless and to struggle is futile, with villains like Cybermen and the Master in the 1960s and 70s. And then Space 1999 featured the exact phrase resistance to the Dorcons, and then Dorcon, the Doors, and then she killed the lead singer of the Doors, and then her little door sex fetish thing she's got going on that she freaking tells lies with and shit. So I mean, she's a fucking you-know-what. So everything about her is a lie, and everything about her is lie-ass smut. Everything she does is to feed her nasty fucking group of fucking people and then present herself as otherwise in society. So in its 1978 finale, so note 1978. So then it's also in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the radio series 1978 and the 1979 includes resistance and is useless as a Vogon, V-O-G-O-N, line referencing Doctor Who. And then Star Trek The Next Generation 1987 made the phrase iconic with the Borg's relentless assimilation, cementing it into pop culture, meaning and impact. The phrase signifies the inevitability of surrender or assimilation. Now, I decoded assimilation, and she was using annihilation and assimilation. I decoded all that in the World Trade Center terror parts of her demon ciphers that I decoded where she's planning to do the World Trade Center attack. So parts of it have AWOL, I think it's AWOL, not the band AWOL Nation. But I think it has AWOL Nation in it, but not the band AWOL Nation, unless she was planning to form the band AWOL Nation and then ice their name. But all I can think of when I think of AWOL Nation is Vietnam vets. So anyway, oh my gosh, I can't remember what they're called. The people that ditched going to serve in war. So she's blanking my brain. So anyway, so AWOL, she encoded in assimilation and she encoded in annihilation. And then she encoded in alien nation. Okay. So anyway, so I could see when I was decoding this is the World Trade Center attack. She's planning to do it, but this is all signs of the future. And then it's all like ice storm and it's all ice, everything. So like I decoded the whole thing, and she's making a reference there to like similars, to like imitate, copy all the synonyms of all, and then Similac. So a powerful declaration. And then formula, there you go. A powerful declaration of overwhelming force where opposition is considered pointless and doomed to fail because it kept becoming a catchphrase for technological takeover. And this is all Ted Kaczynski, which is the person that she did the Oklahoma City bombing with. But those two, well, he's supposed to be in jail, but he's obviously out running around with her. Those two hooked up, got involved, or they're all in her cult. I don't care about the schematics. Those two did it, and then Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols were involved with them, and they went to jail. So you've got a getaway guy and a fall guy, but they're all guilty. But I'm turning in Jean Roberts, who thinks she's the getaway guy, and she's not. I'm turning her in. So anyway, and then fall. So what is the origin? And then she does that to me, scapegoat fall guy. She thinks this shit's fucking funny. Fucking arrest her fucking ass. Or, you know what? Continue to let the World Trade Center terrorist fucking bitch run around committing terrorism. and do nothing about it. I mean, this is ridiculous. Fucking arrest her. So anyway, so April 9th, 2017. So then you have the 297 there. The phrase resistance is futile, has a rich heritage. And then it also originates Arthur Burke's 1930 short story on monsters and Moyne. Okay, so I already got all that. So I think I got all this. Okay, so then IEEE, Technology and Society. And then let me see. This is all, I'm going through what I copied in here. So there is even a Hiroshima 2012 studio album by Oh Hiroshima called Resistance is Futile. And then okay, so and then also she changed snuggle to struggle, which she's referring to swaddling, which she's referring to the silent war, and then fabric softener, and then she invents the Snuggies. Remember Snuggies that came out, the blanket that you wear? That came out when I lived in New York, so all that was pre-planned. And then I'm going to end this recording when I end on this topic. Okay, and then there's a lot more here. Hang on. Okay, so I got all this big part done. Let me finish this big part, and then I'll continue on, because I got a lot more to go. Not a lot, but I got a lot more to go.